Welcome. Thank you for joining me for a 10-minute mindfulness of breath meditation. Today, I'm going to guide you through focusing on the breath, using the breath as an anchor to keep our mind in the present moment. I say this a lot, but I want to remind you that the mind wanders. That's just what the mind does. It is okay. If you catch your mind wandering, just gently bring it back to focusing on the breath. Now, one of our goals today is to keep our attention in the moment as much as we can and guide our mind back gently and compassionately. But I also want to introduce the idea of non striving. Non-striving is very difficult. In our culture, we are conditioned to actively pursue more, to ensure that every moment we are working towards something. And there is a lot of good to that. But when it comes to being in the present moment, it can cause a lot of mental suffering if we're constantly trying to be and do better. So during this practice, I want to encourage you to be in the moment and to keep your mind focused on the breath. Knowing the mind will wander, we're just going to gently bring it back. So please find a comfortable seated position with the feet flat on the floor. The posture is dignified, which just means that the head, the heart, and the base of the spine are in one line. Resting the hands wherever they feel most comfortable, closing the eyes. If you don't feel comfortable closing the eyes, you can soften the gaze and look down. Bringing the awareness to the breath. Adopting that non-striving attitude where we don't want to change the breath. We don't want it to be different than what it is. We are simply paying attention to the breath as if it's the first time the breath is being witnessed. From the beginning of the inhale to the end of the exhale, as best you can, simply observing, not trying to change anything. No right or wrong, just simply watching the breath. If the mind wanders, which is very normal when it does, just gently bringing it back to the breath. And for the next few breathing cycles, just witnessing the breath, trying to keep the mind focused on this moment, using the breath as an anchor. Where is the mind now? Gently bringing it back to the breath if it has wandered. Noticing if you can identify the transition from the inhale ending and the exhale beginning. The next few breathing cycles, just watching the breath and noticing the transition from when the inhale ends and the exhale begins. If the mind has wandered, bringing it back to the breath and staying with the theme of non striving, allowing the breath to be what it is. There's no need to change it. Noticing if you have thoughts of your breathing being good or your breathing being not great. Just noticing those thoughts, letting them go, and just focusing on the breath. There's no right or wrong, there's just witnessing the breath. For the next few breathing cycles, listening to the sound of the breath. Again, there's no right or wrong, just noticing if there's sound connected to the breath, or maybe there isn't sound, just noticing for the next few breathing cycles. Where is the mind now? Gently guiding it back to the breath if it has wandered. Remembering that the mind produces thoughts. The same way our eyes produce tears, our mouth produces saliva, it is just what the mind does. Nothing to be taken personally. During our mindfulness practice, we just practice bringing the mind back to this moment, using the anchor. The anchor today is the breath. Noticing where in the body is the breath felt the most. Perhaps it's the nares. Maybe it's the mouth or the throat. Perhaps the chest or the belly. Or maybe it's a different part of the body. Just noticing the next few breathing cycles, noticing where the breath is felt the most. Where is the mind now? Gently bringing it back to this moment, back to the breath. When you catch the mind wandering, you may even choose to smile, recognizing this is normal. It's okay. And then gently bringing the mind back. For the next few breathing cycles, following the breath from the beginning of the inhale, following the breath through the entire inhale, through the complete exhale, just noticing. and sensing the breath from the beginning of the inhale to the end of the exhale. Where is the mind now? Gently bringing it back to this moment, back to the breath if it has wandered. Placing one palm on the sternum and one hand on the belly, and just feeling the sensation of the hands, noticing any sensations. Noticing if you can feel any temperature or lack of temperature from the palms. Releasing the hands, wiggling the fingers and the toes, bringing life to the body. Opening the eyes if they were closed, gently coming back to the room. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel, remembering that there's no right or wrong, just noticing and being a witness to what's there. If at any time you would like to practice more mindfulness, please visit my YouTube channel. I've linked it in the notes. And also, I have audio recordings. I encourage you to practice as often as you want. And hopefully, you'll want to practice often because there are many benefits that are connected to mindfulness. It's been well researched and connected to improved overall well being, reduced anxiety, improved immune function, improved mental well being. Personally, it has been a game changer in my life. I am wishing you nothing but the best, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.